Welcome to the Life and a Bookshelf podcast with Beck Mills. Here you will find convos, connection, and random musings all about this 30-something life. We talk lifelong learning, we talk books reading, mini book reviews, writing, all the way through to home and wellness hacks and making a positive impact with our time here on earth in our own lives, our families, and out in our wider community. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. Hey, welcome in. It's been a hot minute, just over a week maybe since I did the last podcast, and looking forward to connecting with you on today's episode. We are talking all about the annoying inner critic that pipes up when we are, maybe we've got some big stuff going on, maybe we've got some decisions to make, maybe we have a big goal that we want to work on, and just day to day as well, like it might be before you fall asleep, rehashing the day. If you have ever, and let me know over on the Instagram, the podcasting Instagram, which is at Life and a Bookshelf Podcast, all one word, all lowercase. Let me know your thoughts about today's episode. I'd love to hear. So this inner critic, this inner mean girl, if you will, can pipe up and be super discouraging, super annoying and irritating. You're just trying to make something happen. And then you get this a lot of doubt maybe after hearing this little voice in your head. It might be doubting your ability, your capability. You might be doubting your decisions that you're making or about to make. The reason I want to talk about it today is because this lovely, not so lovely inner mean girl has been rearing its head over the last week, and I'm sure you can relate if you've got stuff going on. It's now February, well into February. We're well past the new year. So maybe you had some big goals as well that you wanted to achieve this year. Maybe you made some resolutions, or you've got like a word of the year or some really big goals. And the research shows that it is about 50%. 50% of people that make some sort of New Year's resolution or goals will quit on them by February. It's just the facts. And so it's like, how does that tie in with the inner critic? Well, this inner mean girl, inner critic can really pop up when we are doubting ourselves. And I speak from a lot of personal experience here. And I'm sure you can relate. Usually it comes up when I'm going after a new goal, or if I want to try something new that I haven't really done before. It can be really discouraging. I do catch it now, which I never used to. Sometimes we're just used to hearing this voice inside us that is just not that kind, and for a lot of people that is the norm. I think when we've got decisions to make, there can be doubts coming up with the inner critic about whether we're making the right decision. Stuff with the kids as well, schooling, there's all this stuff. Anyway, so I am going to share with you tips and tricks that I found really, really helpful in quieting down my inner mean girl. And I want to share them with you because I know a lot of people struggle with this. We might not always talk about it. But especially if you have some goals, they don't have to be big goals, they don't have to be small goals, whatever. If you've just got some goals and things that you want to achieve this year in any area of your life, I feel like these can be really, really helpful, and they've really helped me over a lot of humps, especially around indecision and doubting myself. So I want to share those with you today, and let me know over on the Instagram if anything does resonate and help you. I'd love to hear. So yeah, it's well into February, well past the New Year's resolution phase. All that New Year energy is starting to settle now, and we're settling into 2024 somewhat. And everyone I talk to, time is just flying. Time just flies. Like, it's so about what we do with the time that we have, and yeah, that's probably another discussion for another day. But yeah, if you find yourself feeling really down, or like when you're thinking about your goals or what you want to achieve, it could be that this inner mean girl, this inner critic is really running rampant in your mind. And I find the very first thing that has been the most helpful is to name this inner critic or this inner mean girl. Mine's name is Minnie, and like mini mean girl. I don't know. It made sense when I thought of it. And I give her a really annoying, high-pitched voice. And as I catch myself thinking these negative, doubtful, harsh, and discouraging thoughts, I change the sound of her voice to a really annoying, high-pitched voice. I don't know. It just makes an insane difference, because number one, I've caught myself thinking these really negative thoughts about myself. I have changed the tune of the voice. So it's almost like it becomes objective, like it's not me, it's someone else. And I can clearly distinguish that. And then it helps me to change the thought. And if you've done some of this work, it might sound familiar. If you haven't, just let this wash over you if you're listening. I've got some other tips as well. But naming them, so Minnie the Mean Girl, helps me to recognize that inner critic voice more easily. And I'll be like, oh, it's you again, Minnie. Hi. Thanks for visiting. And it just helps me lighten the situation, because what I found in the past is, once I have that negative thought or that really discouraging thought about myself or my abilities or whatever, it just turns into a spiral. It goes round and round and down, and it just gets more discouraging, more negative, and just downright mean to myself in those thoughts. So helping, when I catch this and changing the sound of the voice in my head, and the name me, really helps me to stop that spiral. So that's something. That's something that used to happen a lot, and now I can catch it. The other thing, I think, by naming it is it really helps me to take a pause and be like, well, is that actually true, Minnie? Is that actually true? An example of what I mean is kind of like if, for example, we were doing a bit of decluttering on the holidays as well, and with the kids stuff, this always takes me so long. Why is it taking me long? I've done this 100 times before. Maybe I'm not doing it right, blah, blah, blah. And then I just stop myself and I'm like, who are you comparing to? And who's going to report the fact that you're not doing it very well to the decluttering police? So is that true? No, it's not true. It just forces me to pause and question what those statements and those thoughts, those negative statements and thoughts that are going through my mind. And another one being like, who are you? So at the moment, writing the book, it's like, who are you to think you can write a book? You haven't done it before. No one's going to read it. You're not even going to finish it because you never finish stuff that you start. And so I give it the annoying high-pitched voice, thanks, Minnie. And I go, oh, hey, Minnie, it's you again. Hi. And asking myself, is that actually true? And, well, no, because it's the first time and I don't have that evidence. And I have written before, and people have read stuff before. Might not be in a book format, But you know what I mean? It stops you from buying into the stories and those negative statements and getting in that spiral. So things like that, like, is it true? And so, yeah, I found giving the inner critic a name and a super annoying voice, number one, really helpful. Number two, pausing long enough to ask, is that actually true? Like, you know, if you find yourself thinking things like, oh, I'm a shit mum because of this, that, and the other that happened today, you know, it might be as you're falling asleep at night, you're rehashing the day. And then if you can give it annoying a voice and just say, is that actually true? Am I actually a shit mum? The fact that I'm thinking about this pretty much means and that I care pretty much means that you are not a shit mum. You know, like, you know what I mean? So it's just giving yourself a chance to rebut those negative statements. So that's number two. That's I find is so helpful. Another thing that has been going on is like piggyback coaching with the netball that I do, and just found a lot of doubts coming up whether I want to do a good job. I've done some training over the last year, and then just totally overthinking it and being like, I'm going to do a shit job if I take on too much or too many. Am I going to be able to do it and keep everyone happy? Am I capable enough to do this? So giving it the annoying voice, pausing, is that actually true? Well, no, because I've done coaching before and this is just in a slightly different way and it's something new. So that, I'm sure you can think of examples in your own life and stuff that's going on at the moment. So yeah, these two tips are really, really helpful. The third tip I found super duper helpful is that action. Action is always the answer. Maybe not when you're falling asleep at night, unless you want to write something down quickly. But I always find, like, whatever the question is, and like if we're wanting to blast through these doubts and like keep at our goals and keep going after what we want to achieve, like, action is 100% the cure for doubt, always. So the thing about taking action, any sort of action, any tiny amount of action, a baby step or a big action, whatever, like, any action is cure for doubt. And what it does is it gives us more evidence that we can do it and that we are capable. And I think that is 1000% what we need in that moment when that inner critic and that inner mean girl is really hounding us. On the opposite side of that, though, something I read a really long time ago, and I think it was probably even before I started really getting into like self-development, personal development type books and work, and I'm trying to remember the book that I read. She's a really well-known Australian lady, entrepreneur. I think, she's obviously an author. If I find if the name comes to me, I'll put it in the show notes. Anyway, she that's where I first heard about the mean girl thing. But then over time, like over the years, I thought, like, if we can pause it, if we can be like, hello again, hi Minnie, like, why can we interrupt it with our inner cheerleader? Could we have an inner cheerleader? If we got an inner me girl, surely we can make an inner cheerleader. I don't know. This is the workings of my brain, you guys. So you get a front row seat. So an inner cheerleader, what the heck does that mean? I call mine Chi Chi because I think it's really cute. And she's really friendly and she's really kind and encouraging. Anyway, so essentially Chi Chi is like, okay, so the inner mean girl's talking to you in a really doubtful, discouraging way, mean way. Your inner cheerleader is like how you would talk to your bestie. You'd be kind, you'd be encouraging, you'd be her biggest cheerleader, right? You'd be thoughtful, kind, ready to help out. this is your inner cheerleader. So can you interrupt your inner mean girl thoughts with your inner cheerleader? This is the thing. And it takes practice. It takes a lot of practice. But, you could give her another voice that's soft and kind or whatever. It might be like hype up, like, yeah, you can do this. You've got this. So whatever works for you. But it could the complete opposite of your inner critic, right? It absolutely can change your state in seconds. It is so powerful and something that I found over the years. So when all this doubt over the last week was kicking my butt, and it's probably now looking at it the reason that I've written less in the last week. I haven't been on to share a podcast. Even then I'm like, about the podcast, I found myself thinking, like I have nothing to talk about. There's nothing really interesting going on, blah, blah, blah. But then look now, and if this helps one other person today in some way or some weird form, then it's done its job. And, it feels good to talk about, but the reason that I jump on here is that I think that if I'm going through something, it's likely that somebody else is also feeling a similar way with what they've got going on. And, the stuff that has worked for me, it might work for them, it might not, but it's something for you to try if you're finding that you're feeling these things too. So just wanted to share those with you today, and I hope that you are having a good week. I hope you're all keeping well. I know there's a lot of bugs going around again at the moment. Start of the school year. It's only halfway through week 2 for us, and I hope you're all keeping healthy, and I'll talk to you really soon. Catcha. So that's all for today. Make sure you click that follow button on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. I thank you so much for taking the time to listen in today. Appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. You absolutely deserve it. Talk soon.